how does the best get better? With more speed off the tee, more control with your irons, more spin with your wedges. Introducing the all-new Pro V1 and Pro V1X.
Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and Tour Pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
So, Nick, this is just a short little clip about 3 practice keys that you have to do if you want to get the most out of your practice. And listen, we all know that golf is a practice game. It's a practice sport. And if you want to improve, practice is such an important part of what we're doing. It actually takes the right mindset to get into practice, doesn't it? I mean, you know yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to go to the range, or when you do practice, with a structure. Now, this came in from a listener.
Yeah,
correct?
well, see so the backstory to this is we get lots and lots and lots of messages from people along the lines of, what should I be practicing on? What should I be focusing on the range or on the course? And so rather than go through them all, because there's so many of them, I thought, let's just read this one out from Matt. Now, this is typical of the kind of email we get lots and lots and lots of. Matt said this: "G'day, Nick and Mark. Big fan of the show. I'm looking to improve my game and practicing on the range. And I'd like to know, what would you guys do with structuring the session? How would you train? What would you practice? What would you focus on? Thanks, guys."
Perfect.
Right, you go first, I'll go second, and then we'll work out
We'll blend it all in,
Yeah,
put it
okay.
that way. So practice structure is so important. A lot of people, and what I hear especially, is they say, well, I hit the ball great on the range, but then I get out in the golf course and I can't play.
That's right.
So they're not structuring their practice effectively. So you've got to divide it, I find, into 3 different areas. Number 1 is some technical work. You watch all the tour pros whenever they go to the range at tournaments or on the practice putting green. First part of their session, they're always doing technical work.
That's right.
Okay, they're going through their fundamentals. They're putting a mirror on the ground, or you love the alignment sticks, don't you? For the driving range?
That's my number 2.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
You just keep going with what you're doing, please.
So you got to do that technical work to reinforce the fundamentals. Scotty Scheffler, best player in the world, he's always just going through grip, stance, setup when he's hitting balls.
Fundamentals.
So start with a bit of technique work, okay? And what you want to do with that is you want to over-exaggerate it. You want to over-exaggerate it because feel and reality are 2 completely different things.
Right.
You think you're laying the club off a little bit if that's what you're working on. Well, guess what? You're probably not. So you got to overdo it. Now, when you overdo these things, you got to not worry where the ball goes. That's a really important part. Doing your technical work into a net, I find is great, because then you forget about the golf ball and you just focus on yourself. So that's number 1, the technique.
Can I just go 1A?
Yes.
One little thing. You're talking about over-exaggerating things. Just get the camera out every once in a while.
Correct.
Okay, this is really important. So when you are working on your fundamentals, it's nice when you've got the super coach there saying, yeah, you're right, Nick, that's exactly where we want it, because that's handy. But if you haven't got the super coach looking over your shoulder, you've got to make sure that what you're doing is correct. So when you're going through your structures and your fundamentals, every once in a while, when you're exaggerating what you're trying to do, like Nick is saying, film it. Because when you see it for real, it will sink in more through your body, and you'll understand what your goals feel like. And that's really important.
Yeah.
Because feel, like you said, what you think you're doing and what you're really doing quite often are 2 totally different things.
Yeah, it's amazing when you film it and then you look at it and you go, doesn't look anything like what I'm feeling. So so that's always a good thing to do, as you say.
Yeah, so so once you've done that, once you've got to the fundamentals, now it's time to just move around the range. And if you're aiming in that's the one spot all the time, you're not doing yourself any favours whatsoever, because there are all kinds of angles in golf.
Correct.
There's where the tee faces you. Sometimes you might hit a drive and you're right on the edge of the fairway and you've got a rough line pointing you in a direction. You've got to actually learn to hit across fairways, across tees, and this is where alignment sticks come into play. So you might start hitting a few short irons after you've done some of your structure stuff, and there might be a target over on the left-hand side of the range. Get some sticks and point yourself in that direction. Use the sticks for 10 shots, take the sticks away, and then go through your routine and try and spot line to the same target. This is really good for visual practice. It's so important that your eyes end up getting angle sharp is what we'll term it.
Yeah.
They've got to be angle sharp. Then that might be with the wedges and the 9 irons. Then the 7 irons, I'd aim at something on the other side of the driving range. Sticks first, 6 or 7, 10 shots, whatever you like, and then go through your routine a couple of times. And then do the same with maybe your hybrids, and then finally get to the driver. And when you get to the driver, I use the sticks early for the first time for body alignment, because when the ball goes forward with the sticks, a lot of people face the ball, and all of a sudden you shot. When you've got the sticks on the ground, you'll feel like your shoulders and hips and your feet all line up in the right way. And so for the first time, the sticks are important for body alignment with the driver. And then do exactly the same thing. Take the sticks away, 4 different targets, either side of the range, and go through your routine. Because, like I said, we want to be angle sharp with your eyes.
Yeah, that's for me, what I call the skill part of the session, exactly what you're talking about. One of my favourite drills is to take one club, might be a 6 iron, and I'll hit it to 5 different targets at different distances on the range. So one might be a 50-metre shot, a 100-metre shot, 150, 125, whatever. So you're always hitting different shots every single time. So that's really, really important, because every time out in the golf course, you're going to have a variety of different shots and different angles, as you say.
Spot on.
And then to finish it off, the third part about the practice session, probably the most important, is the competitive part.
Yes.
So you need to put yourself under pressure, because on the range you can hit the ball well, because there is no result involved. It's just wide open. It doesn't really matter what happens. So you've actually got to put yourself under a bit of pressure out there as well. So you want to pick a target. My favourite game is 3 shots in a row between 2 targets. So it might be a 10-metre wide target, depending on whatever club you're using. Might be 20 if you got the driver. Might be 5 if you got a wedge out. But you've got to hit 3 shots in a row between those 2 targets. When you get to that third one, and if you miss, well, guess what? You got to start again.
Yeah.
And then the other key part about this is that's when you work on your pre-shot routine, because no one really practices your pre-shot routine. You need to be able to work on that, because every single golf shot you have out on the golf course, that's what you want to be focusing on, your pre-shot routine.
This is going to work well, because you use the sticks, take the sticks away, and then we actually get that done.
Yeah.
So the competitive nature and the penalty nature of golf.
Yes.
Because when you're hitting ball after ball after ball, there's no penalty. You just grab another ball and hit another 7 iron. Yeah. But what you're talking about with the competitive part, you take the sticks away, you set up the parameters. Okay, I've got to hit some good shots in between these parameters. And if that third one doesn't go in between, you're starting again. Full routine. I absolutely love it.
And that's when you start to go, you might have done this 2 or 3 times and you keep missing it. Then you start to get a bit edgy and you're like, oh gosh, well, this is what you're going to feel out on the golf course every single shot you play. So you're replicating, you're simulating that pressure. Now, pressure on the course is going to be up here. The range is going to be here. You're never going to get them, the same, but you might be able to get it fairly close. So so there's your 3 things: a bit of technique, a bit of skill work, competitive, and given, my top 3s always go into one more.
Go on.
The only other part I would say about the structure is your time, okay? So what I mean by that is work at least half of your time on your wedges, chipping, bunkers, putting, compared to your full swing.
Yes.
Preferably 2/3 of your time, but I know most people don't like to do that. At least half.
Okay? I'm glad you went through the form, because I was actually going to do it. I was going to say the most amazing thing, like I'm playing social golf, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But a lot of my 37 pointers, when I play well, I've hit the ball terrible from tee to green, But I've just managed to get up and down all over the joint. And they're the 37 pointers that I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, if you're not spending a good amount of time on your short game, and particularly your 6-foot putts, you know, I mean, I don't practice my chipping that much these days, and I find a good chip actually goes to about 6 foot. But once upon a time, a good chip of mine would have gone to 3.
Yeah, gimme.
Piece of cake. These days, as a social player, a lot of my practice is those 6-footers, because I know if I hit a nice shot from time to time, I'm going to have a 6 or an 8-foot birdie putt, and most of the time, if I miss a green, I'm going to have a 6-footer if I hit a nice, reasonable chip. So that's really important as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, A and B. It never stops.
There you go. It never stops.
It never stops. Anyway, folks, I hope that helps. Send us through your stories. If you're improving, we want to know about it. At Talk Birdie to Me, you'll find us somewhere.
And that's been Talk Birdie to Me, Australia's most popular golf podcast, with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.